Gratefulness is not just about waking up in the morning and saying, I'm grateful for the day. It's a lot more than that, right? Just doing that is quite easy. Here are 4 ways that you can take gratefulness to the next level. Number 1, don't just be grateful in vague terms. Be grateful in specific terms. So give the appreciation that you wish that you could receive. People don't like or trust vague comments, and neither do you. So it's better to appreciate one specific thing than to appreciate 10 vague things. When someone says, thanks for your hard work, or, good job, you might feel a mix of joy, but also doubt and confusion because you don't really know if you really worked that hard, or you don't know if they mean it, or you don't agree with them. Especially for people that may have imposter syndrome, they're going to think, oh, I fooled him or her into thinking that I put more effort, I did a better job than I actually did. Or, oh, that wasn't a really big deal, so what? It doesn't really matter. Instead, if you are specific, you eliminate that issue of doubt and confusion. So for example, imagine you said, hey, I noticed that you went out of your way to include your colleagues into the discussion. And I know that it took a lot extra effort from you, and it would have been much easier just to do it on your own. But I really appreciate your leadership. It makes my job so much easier. Number 2, don't take anything for granted. So my mother told me once that as she was driving me to school, I told her that it was her obligation as my mother to pay for my schooling and my education. And to that, she answered, you're right, it is my job to make sure that you get education, but I don't have to pay for high-end quality education. In the same way, it's my job to give you a roof to sleep at night for safety, but I don't have to give you your own room. It is my job to feed you, but I don't have to give you tasty food that you're going to love and enjoy. In that moment, I realized to not take what my parents did for me for granted. Now, it's very easy to take for granted what people do for us, especially the people that are close to us, what they do on a daily basis to serve us, right? It might be cleaning and cooking that your spouse does for you, or experiences and meetings that your boss gets you into. Maybe it's what your parents do in terms of getting you some vacations or experiences. A gift that people give you. The garbage man that takes the garbage away every week. So don't take their time or kindness for granted. Honor them with acknowledgement and appreciation. And keep saying thank you, even if you feel like you're being repetitive, because for them, it doesn't sound repetitive at all to receive honest appreciation over and over again. Number 3, acknowledge people's efforts, even if you don't like the outcomes. I used to take these partner dance classes, and in these classes, there were always twice as many women as there were men, which is very common for dancing. So in the class, men would rotate and dance with each of the women, and then half of the women would be without a partner at any given time because of the inequality of men and women. Now, a lot of the guys were beginners and the women were more advanced. So one of the guys, when they were dancing with me, I felt like his confidence was really low. So he told me that the other woman who danced with him said that he was a terrible dancer and that she had no patience for him. So he felt guilty. Now, this infuriated me because we didn't have a lot of men, and the ones that were there were still being treated poorly and not acknowledged for being there. And so what happened? These men left, and we ended up with no guys, and then they had to close and shut down that dance class. Then with my husband, he's now my husband, back then when we were dating, I took him to a dance class. Now, he never danced before. So they were doing the same rotation, and he went to dance with some other ladies. When he came back, he told me that other women were telling him that he was a terrible dancer again because he was stepping on their feet maybe once or twice, and they were being extremely rude and mean to him. Again, I felt terrible, and I couldn't believe how mean and these women were, and how they couldn't acknowledge the effort and the kindness of these men. So if you see an employee putting effort into a project, but they're still struggling, if you see a colleague trying to help you, but they fail, if a loved one is trying to change behavior, but they're struggling a little bit, right, or they're having setbacks, don't judge them. Acknowledge their effort and then offer to help them. Number 4, be grateful for the challenges that you meet in your life because they're going to make you so much stronger. My greatest challenges in my teens and 20s was to overcome my extreme social anxiety and social aversion and social awkwardness. I walked looking down at the floor in my teens because I couldn't stand the idea of making eye contact. I dreaded the attention I got by raising my hands and saying, "Hey, I'm here," when the teacher called our names at the start of the class to take attendance. I dressed in oversized t-shirts and pants to hide myself. I was really living in the shadows. And it took me about a whole decade of deliberately putting myself out there in uncomfortable situations like public speaking, networking, and taking on leadership roles to overcome it. But it was in those 10 years, that 10-year journey of overcoming of my social awkwardness, that I found myself, I discovered myself, and I had some of the most memorable experiences in my life, like traveling the world and meeting lots of people and going to international dance conferences and living abroad. So recognize that it is in your journey of overcoming that you will find yourself and you will encounter some of the most transformative moments in your life. So embrace those challenges as opportunities for self-discovery, positive change in your life, and finding meaning and significance. Be grateful for others, be grateful for yourself, and my friends, happy holidays. Be confident, candid, and caring. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.